Welcome, dear listener, to the Sleepless Academic. I'm so glad you've joined me tonight. Whether you're wrapped in a soft blanket, listening to the rain tap at your window, or simply letting your thoughts float like autumn leaves in slow motion, this is your moment to rest, to learn, and to slowly drift into the space where science and stillness meet. Tonight's journey will take us through realms unseen. We will embark on a gentle yet expansive journey into a topic that is as mysterious as it is mesmerizing, the strange dance of the quantum world. We will explore the delicate threads of quantum physics, the strange behavior of particles that seem to dance between reality and possibility. We'll speak of vibrations, the subtle pulses that ripple through the very fabric of the universe, of the quiet hum of frequencies, the secret signature each of us carries, and we'll gently drift into the space where science and mysticism blur into the whispered law of manifestation. What if your thoughts had a frequency? What if the universe, like a great instrument, responds to the song of your mind? And what if the veil between the world of matter and the world of energy is thinner than we ever imagined? Don't worry, there will be no equations, no pressure, and certainly no pop quizzes, just gentle words, slow wonder, and perhaps a few thoughts to keep your dreams company. Now, a gentle warning, the universe can be a bit of a show-off. Particles vanish, reappear, and sometimes behave like waves just to confuse us. But I promise we'll take it slow, just enough to be curious, not so much that your mind stays awake rearranging atoms. Before you drift too far into the boundless sea of subatomic energy and unseen frequencies, I'd love to know, where are you listening from tonight? Is it morning where you are, or is the moon keeping watch over you? Pop a comment below if you'd like. I read each one, and they always make this little corner of the internet feel a bit more connected. And if you enjoy these kinds of thoughtful explorations, please do give the video a gentle like and maybe tap that subscribe button. That way, more sleepless minds can join us for these nightly explorations. It's a comfort to know that across this vast world, others are tuning in, thinking, wondering, unravelling the mysteries of existence alongside you. Now, dim the lights. Let the cool hum of your environment fade. Allow your body to melt into the mattress beneath you. You're safe, you are warm, and you are held. Let your shoulders soften, your breath slow, and when you're ready, we'll step together into the misty space between science and soul. Feel the quiet awe of it all. Let us begin our journey into the quantum realm, where time bends, energy speaks, and reality is far stranger than dreams. Chapter 1. The Universe in Motion. Everything vibrates. That's not just poetic sentiment, it is a scientific fact, one whispered through the equations of physics and the rhythms of the natural world. Even now, as you lie still, your body quiet, your mind beginning to loosen its grip on the day, within you there is motion. Billions upon billions of atoms are humming, spinning, oscillating. They are not static, and they are never truly still. Each breath you take flows through molecules vibrating at specific speeds. Your cells communicate through waves. Your very thoughts ripple through the brain as pulses of energy. This is where our journey begins, at the threshold between stillness and movement. At first glance, the universe appears solid. The floor beneath you, the bed cradling your body, the objects in your room, all of it seems stable, unmoving. But zoom in, far, far closer than the eye can see, and you will discover something astonishing. Atoms, the building blocks of everything, are mostly empty space. Within them are particles, protons, neutrons, electrons, constantly in motion, held together by invisible forces, orbiting and spinning like tiny galaxies. And beyond them, even smaller entities, quarks, leptons, neutrinos, each with their own unique vibrations and characteristics. These particles do not move randomly. They vibrate at specific frequencies. And it is this frequency, this vibration, that gives matter its form and identity. Vibration is not an anomaly of the universe. It is its foundation. The sound you hear when someone speaks, That is vibration travelling through air. The colour red is a specific frequency of light, heat, the movement of atoms. From the most mundane to the most miraculous, vibration is at the heart of it all. In the early 20th century, physicists began to understand that this vibrating nature extended deeper than anyone had imagined. Classical physics, the physics of Newton and Galileo, had described a world of predictable laws and clockwork motion. But as science looked into the subatomic world, a new kind of physics emerged: quantum physics. Here, things do not behave as they should. Particles can be in two places at once. Objects can influence each other instantly across vast distances, and the act of observing something changes it. It's as though reality itself is fluid, not a rigid structure, but a wave, waiting to collapse into form. And this brings us to a remarkable truth. Everything in the universe is energy. Matter, thoughts, emotions. All of it is, at its core, vibrating energy fields. Albert Einstein once said, "Concerning matter, we have been all wrong. What we have called matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be perceptible to the senses. There is no matter." Energy and matter are two sides of the same coin, and if everything is energy, and all energy vibrates, then the frequency at which something vibrates determines what it becomes. Think of a violin string, pluck it gently and it produces a note. Tighten the string or adjust the tension and the note changes. The vibration determines the sound. So too with everything in the cosmos. The chair you sit in, the tree outside your window, the starlight above, they are all notes in a grand cosmic symphony, each vibrating at their own frequency. And you, your body, your mind, your consciousness, are a vibration too. Even your brain emits frequencies. These are known as brain waves, and they change depending on your state of mind. In deep sleep, your brain vibrates at a delta frequency. In relaxed meditation, it slows into theta. When you're focused and alert, it hums at beta or even gamma levels. Your emotions have a frequency as well. Love, gratitude, joy, these are high-frequency states. Fear, anger, shame, lower ones. They are not just feelings. They are energetic states, measurable, palpable, influential. This is not metaphor, it is physics. And it is through this lens that we begin to understand the link between quantum energy and the mysterious art of manifestation. If we are vibrational beings, and if the universe is an energetic field that responds to frequency, then perhaps our thoughts, our intentions, our emotions do more than just shape our inner world. Perhaps they shape reality itself. But before we go deeper into that possibility, let us remain here for a moment in this still, quiet recognition of movement. The hum of your being, the silent rhythm of your cells, the dance of photons in the air around you. Feel the subtle vibrations that surround you, the flickering pulse of your heart, the gentle sway of breath, the steady current of your own consciousness. This is the universe in motion. Not chaos, not noise, but a quiet, intricate symphony of energy. And you, dear listener, are a note within it. Not separate, not apart, but participating, resonating, aligned. As you drift further into the night, you may begin to sense it, not with your eyes, but with something deeper, that all of reality is woven through with subtle frequencies, that you are part of an ancient rhythm, and that perhaps, just perhaps, your thoughts and feelings carry more power than you were ever taught to believe. Let yourself float here in this first realization. There is much more to come, but for now, simply rest. We have only just begun. Chapter 2. What is quantum physics? As the stars wheel slowly above and the quiet of the night deepens around you, let us now slip into a different kind of space. One not measured in miles or meters, but in ideas that defy common sense and invite wonder. Tonight we venture into the strange and beautiful terrain of quantum physics. To understand quantum physics is to understand the fabric of our universe in its most intimate, mysterious form. But unlike the orderly and predictable rules of classical physics, the kind that governs apples falling from trees or planets circling the sun, quantum physics reveals a world far more surreal. A world where particles can be waves, where cause and effect blur, where observation alters reality, and where uncertainty isn't a bug in the system, but a fundamental feature. Let's begin gently. I, the quantum, smallest of the small. The word quantum comes from the Latin quantus, meaning how much. In modern physics, it refers to the smallest possible unit of something, whether it be light, energy, or matter. Imagine zooming in closer and closer to the world around you, past molecules, past atoms, down into the subatomic realm. There, nestled within the atom, we find particles so small they begin to behave in ways that defy logic. Light, for instance, is made of particles called photons, but depending on how we look at it, light also behaves like a wave. This dual behaviour, wave and particle at once, is known as wave-particle duality. It's as if reality can't decide what form to take, until we look. And that's not just poetry, it's physics. 2. The double-slit experiment, the observer effect. One of the most famous and haunting experiments in quantum physics is the double-slit experiment. Here's how it works. Physicists shine a beam of particles, like electrons or photons, toward a barrier with two narrow slits. On the other side of that barrier is a screen that records where each particle lands. Now, if particles behaved like tiny marbles, we'd expect them to pass through one slit or the other and create two distinct bands on the screen. But that's not what happens. Instead, an interference pattern appears on the screen, a series of light and dark bands. This pattern is what you'd expect if the particles were behaving like waves, not solid marbles. The waves pass through both slits at once, overlap, and interfere with each other, sometimes amplifying, sometimes cancelling out. In other words, the particle seems to be in multiple places at once. Now here's where it gets even stranger. If we place a detector at the slits to see which slit each particle actually goes through, the interference pattern disappears. Just by observing the particles, we collapse their wave-like behaviour into particle-like behaviour. The act of measurement changes the outcome. This is called the observer effect, and it suggests something profound, that consciousness, the mere act of observing, can shape the reality we experience. It's as though the universe is not a fixed thing, but a field of possibilities, and it is our awareness that chooses from that field which reality unfolds. 3. The uncertainty principle. Another cornerstone of quantum physics is Werner Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which states that you cannot simultaneously know both the position and velocity of a quantum particle with perfect precision. The more accurately you know one, the less accurately you know the other. This is not a limitation of technology, it's a fundamental property of nature. At the quantum level, particles don't have fixed positions or speeds. They exist in a state of probability, a cloud of potential outcomes. Only when we measure do those probabilities collapse into a definite state. Again, we find a universe that is not solid and deterministic, but probabilistic and fluid. Not a machine, but a wave of potential. IV, superposition and entanglement. 2 more concepts add to the mystery. Superposition is the idea that a quantum particle can exist in multiple states at once. Until it is observed, it is both here and there, spin up and spin down, particle and wave. Perhaps you've heard of Schrödinger's cat, a famous thought experiment in which a cat inside a sealed box is both alive and dead, until someone opens the box to check. It's absurd, and that's the point. Quantum superposition defies our common sense logic. Then there's quantum entanglement, a phenomenon Einstein called spooky action at a distance. When two particles become entangled, they remain connected no matter how far apart they are. Change the state of one, and the other changes instantly, even if it's light years away. This defies classical physics, which says information can't travel faster than the speed of light. But in the quantum world, distance doesn't matter. Entangled particles are part of the same system, the same unified field. What happens to one happens to both. V, a universe made of possibility. Taken together, These phenomena paint a picture of reality that is far more fluid than we once thought. Particles are also waves. Objects exist in multiple states at once. Observation shapes outcomes. Everything is interconnected. It is not a clockwork universe after all. It is something more alive, more responsive, more participatory. The implications are staggering. If observation shapes reality, what role does human consciousness play? If everything is vibration, are our thoughts and emotions part of that fabric? If the universe is a field of probabilities, might we influence which probabilities manifest? And that is where the concept of manifestation begins to shimmer into view. Setting quantum fields, the fabric beneath reality. Modern quantum physics tells us that all particles emerge from deeper quantum fields, invisible oceans of energy that permeate the entire universe. There is a field for every type of particle. Electrons, photons, quarks. These fields vibrate, and those vibrations are what give rise to the particles we see. This is not theory. It is the foundation of quantum field theory, the most accurate model of reality we have. You're not sitting in a universe of fields, you're those fields. Your body, your brain, your thoughts are all patterns in vibrating fields of energy, and that means nothing is truly separate. We're all part of the same unified ocean vibrating at different frequencies. This is not mysticism, this is physics. 7. Bridging science and spirit. It's no wonder, then, that spiritual thinkers and metaphysical traditions have long spoken in similar terms. Ancient mystics described reality as energy. Yogic and Eastern philosophies spoke of vibrations, auras, frequencies, and the interconnectedness of all things. Now, modern physics is beginning to echo those insights, not through faith or revelation, but through data, mathematics, and observation. The veil between science and spirituality is thinning. In the chapters to come, we will explore how these quantum truths may relate to manifestation, intention, emotion, and the power of thought. But for now, let these truths settle into your being. There is no need to understand them in a logical sense. Let them wash over you like soft waves. Let them hum in your chest, in your spine, in the quiet space behind your thoughts. You're not made of matter. You're made of energy. You're not a thing in space. You're a vibration in an infinite field, and the field responds to you. Sleep now or float. The universe is awake, and so are you. Chapter 3. Frequency, resonance, and the energy body. You're resting now. Your mind is calm, your breath steady. With each quiet inhale and exhale, your body softens further into the comfort beneath you. Let's deepen our journey. If the quantum world is a sea of vibrating fields, then it stands to reason. Everything is frequency. Every object, emotion, and thought carries its own vibrational signature. This chapter explores what that means, scientifically, philosophically, and personally. Let us begin with the basics. What is frequency? In physics, frequency is a measure of how often a wave oscillates in a given amount of time. It is usually measured in hertz, which is cycles per second. A low-frequency wave might oscillate slowly, like the deep rumble of thunder. A high-frequency wave might oscillate quickly, like the sharp chirp of a bird or the shimmer of a violin string. Every sound you hear, every colour you see, every signal your phone receives, each is encoded in frequency. But this extends beyond sound and light. The particles in your body are constantly vibrating too. Every atom, every molecule, shimmering, dancing, humming at the quantum level. Even your brain. 2. Brainwaves and consciousness. Scientists have long studied the brain's electrical activity, particularly its rhythmic oscillations, known as brainwaves. Using EEG, electroencephalography, researchers can observe the frequency of these brain patterns and associate them with different mental states. Delta waves 0.5 and 4 Hz, deep sleep, unconsciousness. Theta waves 4-8 Hz, drowsiness, meditation, creativity. Alpha waves 8-13 Hz, relaxed wakefulness, calm. Beta waves 13-30 Hz, alertness, thinking, concentration. Gamma waves 30+ Hz, high-level cognition flow state. As you listen to this now, your brain may be shifting into alpha or theta states. Those soft, slow rhythms linked to insight, healing and dreaming. When your brainwaves synchronize with external rhythms, like calming music or guided meditation, it's called brainwave entrainment. Frequencies influence us not only on a cellular level, but also on a conscious one. You're a symphony, and your thoughts are the notes. 3. Resonance. Tuning to the universe. The word resonance comes from the Latin resonare, meaning to echo. In physics, resonance describes what happens when one object vibrating at a certain frequency causes another object to begin vibrating at the same frequency. This is not metaphor, it's measurable. A classic example: place two tuning forks near each other. Strike one and the other will begin to hum even if it hasn't been touched. Why? Because their frequencies match. You too are constantly resonating. Your mood, thoughts and environment all influence the frequency at which your body and mind operate. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a heavy tension without anyone saying a word? Or met someone whose calmness made you feel instantly relaxed? That's energetic resonance at play. On a quantum level, it may be that fields influence fields. Vibrations tune other vibrations. This is not just poetic metaphor, it's physics meeting perception. IV, the human energy field. Beyond the limits of classical anatomy lies the idea of the energy body, a subtle, dynamic field that surrounds and interpenetrates the physical body. Eastern traditions have long spoken of this. In Chinese medicine it is called qi, life force that flows through meridians. In Hindu philosophy it is known as prana, vital energy that moves through chakras. In Western esotericism it is called the aura, a luminous field of colour and vibration. Modern science too is beginning to explore this. Devices like Kirlian photography claim to capture the energetic emissions of the body, though interpretations remain debated. What is certain, however, is that your body does emit electromagnetic signals. Every heartbeat, every brainwave, every muscle twitch generates a field. The heart's electromagnetic field, for example, extends several feet beyond the body and can be measured with sensitive instruments. We are in a very real sense surrounded by invisible music. V. Vibration and emotion. Everything vibrates, but not everything vibrates the same. Emotions carry vibrational frequencies too. Anger, fear and shame tend to be low-frequency states. Love, joy and gratitude, high-frequency ones. This idea was popularised in Dr. David Hawkins's Map of Consciousness, which associates specific emotions with vibrational levels: shame 20 Hz, fear 100 Hz, neutrality 250 Hz, love 500 Hz, joy 540 Hz, peace 600 Hz. Whether these numbers are exact is less important than the insight behind them. Your emotional state influences your vibration, and your vibration shapes how you experience the world. This may explain why gratitude journals, loving-kindness meditations, and deep breaths have such profound effects. They change your frequency. You begin to resonate with life differently. 6. The law of vibration. Before the popular law of attraction, there was the law of vibration, an ancient metaphysical principle that underlies much of manifestation theory. It states simply, everything vibrates, nothing rests, like attracts like. That which is on the same frequency is drawn together. If you hold a thought, a belief or an emotion long enough, your body and mind begin to vibrate in harmony with it. Over time, you may find your external world reflecting that frequency back to you. This is not wishful thinking, it's energetic congruence. When you feel abundant, opportunities arise. When you feel grateful, life gives more to be grateful for. Quantum physics too hints at this. In a universe governed by probability and interconnected fields, it's not unthinkable that your internal state influences the probabilities that unfold around you. You're not separate from the universe. You're part of its song. 7. A quiet field of possibility. As you rest now, still and safe, know this. You are not static. You're a frequency. Your thoughts emit signals. Your emotions shape fields. Your body, mind and spirit form a harmonic resonance with the space around you. So if tonight you feel scattered or low, breathe. Place your hand on your heart and remember, you can change your frequency. You're never stuck. You're a vibration, ever shifting. And you're not alone. Somewhere, someone else is tuning into this very frequency right now, resonating, humming, healing. We are all instruments in the same cosmic orchestra, and the universe is listening. Chapter 4. The Science and Metaphysics of Manifestation. As your body continues to rest in comfort, your mind remains open, soft and curious. The rhythm of your breath is steady now. The room around you is quiet. Perhaps there's a slight hum in the air, your own frequency dancing with the cosmos. Tonight we step into the liminal space where science meets mysticism. We explore manifestation, a word heavy with mystery, often associated with vision boards, affirmations and dreams waiting to come true. But in this chapter, we peel back the layers. What does it mean to manifest something into reality? Is there science behind the practice? Or is it simply metaphysical poetry dressed as pseudoscience? Let's begin gently. What is manifestation? At its simplest, manifestation refers to the act of bringing something into existence. A thought becomes a plan becomes an action repeated becomes a reality. This is the psychological view. But when we use the word in a more spiritual or energetic sense, we often mean something more. The idea that by holding a particular thought, emotion or intention, we attract circumstances that match that internal state. Popularized by books like The Secret and New Thought traditions, manifestation has taken on a magical quality. And while it's often dismissed by hard science, many aspects of it have very real psychological and even quantum correlates. Carl Jung and the collective unconscious. Let's begin with Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who bridged psychology with spirituality. Jung did not use the word manifestation in the way modern self-help culture does, but he was deeply interested in how the unconscious shapes reality. He introduced the concept of synchronicity, the idea that meaningful coincidences are not just random, but may reflect a deeper order in the universe. You think of someone you haven't spoken to in years, and they call you minutes later. A book falls off the shelf containing the exact message you needed. You follow a hunch, and it leads to the opportunity of a lifetime. Jung believed these events were not causally connected in the material sense, but are causally connected through meaning. Synchronicity, then, is a cousin of manifestation. It suggests that inner shifts in the psyche, particularly within the collective unconscious, can ripple into the fabric of outer reality. Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." 3. The quantum mind. Now let's turn back to quantum physics. As we explored earlier, the quantum realm is strange, uncertain, probabilistic. A particle can exist in multiple places at once until observed. This is known as the observer effect. Could consciousness itself influence quantum outcomes? Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that observation collapses the wave function, turning possibility into actuality. If consciousness plays a role in shaping quantum events, then perhaps focused attention and intention could influence reality in subtle ways. This doesn't mean we can manifest a mansion by thinking hard enough, but it might suggest that our internal state, our vibrational signature, has some role in shaping the field of probabilities that surround us. You might think of your intention like a tuning fork, sending out a frequency. over time that frequency may draw matching experiences toward it, much like resonance we discussed in Chapter 3. Again, this may sound mystical, but consider. Your beliefs shape your perception shapes your decisions shape your outcomes. Thus, the universe you inhabit is filtered through your mind. Shift your beliefs, and you shift the world you live in. The reticular activating system, RAS. Let's bring this back to brain science. Inside your brainstem is a bundle of nerves called the reticular activating system, or RAS. This system acts as a filter between your conscious mind and the information your senses take in. You're exposed to millions of pieces of sensory data every second, but you only consciously notice a tiny fraction. The RAS decides what's important, and here's the key: the RAS responds to what you focus on. If you begin researching a particular type of car, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. If you believe the world is dangerous, your brain will notice every threat. If you start visualizing opportunities, your RAS begins flagging them in real life. In this way, manifestation is not magic, it's selective awareness. You program your RAS by repeatedly visualizing your goals, stating affirmations, and aligning emotionally with the outcomes you desire. The brain begins to orient itself toward those outcomes, scanning the environment and nudging your behavior to match. It's not that the universe rearranges itself, it's that you do. Neuroplasticity and identity. Let's go deeper still. The human brain is neuroplastic. Chapter 6. The hidden architecture of thought, neural networks and the mind's pattern engine. You're drifting now, deeper into stillness. The weight of your limbs, the warmth of your breath, all held in quiet harmony. And beneath that silence, something extraordinary is unfolding constantly, invisibly. Your thoughts, not the loud-spoken ones, not even the quiet stream of inner dialogue, but the deeper architecture that gives rise to them, the silent patterns that shape how you interpret the world, how you react, how you feel, and how you live. Tonight, we dive into the neural networks that build your reality. What is a neural network? Your brain is made up of about 86 billion neurons, tiny, electrically excitable cells that communicate with one another through specialized connections called synapses. Each neuron can form thousands of connections, meaning your brain contains trillions of synapses, a network so complex it rivals the number of stars in the observable universe. But these connections are not random. They form networks, specific pathways that wire together in response to experience, emotion, and repetition. This is the essence of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change its structure based on what you focus on and how you live. The more you think a thought, the more it wires. The more you repeat a feeling, the more familiar it becomes. Neurons that fire together wire together. 2. Thought as pattern. We often imagine a thought as a singular thing, a sentence in the mind, a moment of awareness. But in reality, a thought is the activation of a neural pathway. It's a pattern like a wave travelling through a sea of possibility. And that pattern doesn't exist in isolation. It's part of a much larger architecture of meaning and memory. Think of it like a city. Roads are neurons. Traffic is electrical activity. Neighbourhoods are thought categories: emotion, language, vision, memory. And like any city, traffic patterns develop. Habits form. Some areas are overused. Others grow quiet. This is why certain thoughts seem to think themselves. They're well-worn paths, and the more you travel them, the easier it is to return. Anxiety becomes a loop. Self-doubt becomes a reflex. But so can confidence, so can compassion, so can presence. Your mind is not fixed. It's a dynamic, responsive engine sculpted by pattern. 3. Default mode network, the wandering mind. When you're not focused on a task, when your mind drifts into daydream, memory or imagination, a particular group of brain regions lights up. This is known as the default mode network. It is responsible for self-referential thinking, autobiographical memory and internal narrative, projection into the future. In other words, the story of you. This network constructs your identity. It holds your timeline. It spins the narrative of your life. Who you are, what you've been through, what's coming next. But here's the fascinating part. The default mode network is highly trainable. Meditation, for example, has been shown to reduce activity in this network, particularly the parts associated with rumination and overthinking. By observing your thoughts, you begin to rewrite the story. You don't stop being yourself, but you become less entangled in the drama. You gain space between what is happening and how you interpret it, and in that space, freedom is born. IV, Hebbian learning, wiring your future. The brain learns through a simple rule, Hebb's law. Neurons that fire together wire together. When you repeat a thought, when you practice a behaviour, when you feel a certain emotion over and over, it becomes easier to access. The brain physically rewires to make that pattern more efficient. But here's the other side. Neurons that don't fire together begin to unwire. This is called synaptic pruning. The brain removes unused connections to make room for new growth, like trimming a tree to help it flourish. So every time you shift your focus from anxiety to gratitude, you're de-emphasizing one network and strengthening another. You're not forcing change, you're reallocating energy. Little by little, your mental landscape reshapes. This is how healing happens. Not through grand epiphanies, but through quiet, repeated attention. V. Emotion and memory, the glue of experience. Your memories are not just stored facts, they are felt experiences deeply influenced by the emotional state you were in when they were formed. This is why we remember trauma so vividly, and why nostalgia can trigger tears. Emotion acts like a highlighter, telling the brain, this matters, keep this. The amygdala, the brain's emotional processor, works closely with the hippocampus, which stores memory. Together they decide what gets saved and how strongly it is wired. This means your mental map of reality is not neutral, it is coloured by feeling, and by changing your emotional state, you can begin to reinterpret the past. What was once a source of shame can become a story of resilience. What was once a failure can become a turning point. You're not trapped by memory, you're constantly re-editing the book of your life. To 6. Thought, belief, and the subconscious. Most of your thoughts are not conscious. Researchers estimate that over 90% of brain activity occurs below awareness, in the realm of automatic processes, habits, and conditioned responses. This is the subconscious mind, the realm of pattern, and like the conscious mind, it can be trained. Through repetition, emotion, and imagery, you can begin to influence the subconscious directly. This is why tools like visualization, affirmations, and hypnosis work, not through magic, but through neural rehearsal. When you imagine a new outcome vividly and emotionally, your brain activates the same regions as if it were real. Over time, those patterns strengthen, preparing the mind and even the body to move in that direction. Your inner world becomes your practice field, and what you rehearse becomes what you live. 7. Conscious creation. So what does this all mean? It means you're not merely a thinker of thoughts, you're a weaver of patterns. Every time you redirect your focus, every time you pause before reacting, every time you choose curiosity over judgment, you are carving a new path. This is not just mindfulness, it is neuroarchitecture. You're designing your mind, and in doing so, you're influencing your choices, your mood, your relationships, your health. You are not the victim of your mind, you are the artist of it. 8. From thought to reality. As above, so below, as within, so without. The patterns you cultivate internally begin to shape how you perceive the world, and how the world responds to you. This is why mindset matters, not because it changes the universe magically, but because it changes you. And you in turn change the way you walk through the world. From a place of fear you see limitation, from a place of love you see possibility. The brain is not static, reality is not fixed, and you, dear listener, are far more powerful than you've been taught to believe. So as you rest now, deep in warmth, held in breath, know this. Each thought is a brushstroke, each belief a blueprint, each emotion a signal, and your neural network is listening. Chapter 7. Coherence and the Heart-Brain Connection, the Science of Emotional Harmony. The heart is more than a pump. It is an electromagnetic conductor, a rhythmic beacon of coherence and connection. Scientists measuring the heart's electromagnetic field have discovered something extraordinary. The heart's rhythm can synchronize or entrain with the brain's electrical patterns. This phenomenon is called heart-brain coherence. When your heart and brain are coherent, moving in sync, your body experiences emotional stability, cognitive clarity, and resilience to stress. Heart rate variability, HRV, a measure of the variation in time between heartbeats, is a key biomarker of this coherence. Higher HRV is linked to better emotional regulation, improved immune function, and overall health. Practices such as deep breathing, meditation, and gratitude can increase coherence. This heart-brain dance is not just physical, it is energetic, a dialogue between your body, mind, and environment. In moments of love, appreciation, and compassion, the heart emits rhythms that ripple outward, influencing those around you. In this light, the heart is a transmitter of vibration, a bridge between inner experience and outer reality. Chapter 8. Quantum Entanglement and Non-Local Connection. In the quantum world, particles can become entangled, a mysterious connection that transcends space and time. When entangled, two particles share a state instantly, no matter how far apart they are. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. Entanglement challenges classical notions of separateness. It suggests a deep underlying interconnectedness within the universe. What might this mean for us? Could our thoughts and intentions influence distant events? While science remains cautious, emerging fields like quantum consciousness explore how entanglement might relate to mind and matter. At the very least, entanglement reminds us the universe is a web of relationships, not isolated parts. We exist not as islands, but as nodes in a vast cosmic network. Chapter 9. The Vibrational Basis of Manifestation. Manifestation is often simplified as thinking positive thoughts to get positive results. But beneath this is a complex interplay of vibration, attention, and action. Your thoughts carry frequencies. When you focus intently, especially with strong emotion, you amplify that frequency. This creates a field of potential around you. When your actions align with that frequency, you move toward manifesting your intentions. It is the dance of energy and matter. But manifestation is not magic. It requires clarity, consistency, and presence. You must become a match to what you desire, not just in thought, but in feeling and behaviour. Manifestation is a process of energetic alignment. The universe responds not to blind wish, but to coherent vibration. Chapter 10. Frequencies in Nature and the Cosmos. Nature hums with vibration. From the pulse of the heartbeat to the rhythm of the tides, everything moves in cycles and waves. The Earth itself vibrates at a frequency known as the Schumann resonance, approximately 7.83 Hz. This frequency matches human alpha brainwaves, linking us intimately to the planet's electromagnetic field. The cosmos extends this pattern infinitely. Stars pulsate, galaxies rotate, and cosmic background radiation fills space with a faint hum. When you sit quietly beneath the night sky, you are immersed in this symphony of vibration. Understanding this connection helps ground manifestation in the physical world. It reminds you are part of a living, breathing universe. Chapter 11. The Role of Consciousness in Quantum Reality. Quantum physics suggests that consciousness plays a fundamental role in shaping reality. The famous double-slit experiment shows that particles behave differently when observed. This implies that the act of observation affects the state of matter. Philosophers and physicists debate what this means. Is consciousness a separate entity, or is it an intrinsic part of the fabric of reality? Some propose a model called participatory universe, where observer and observed co-create existence. This view aligns with many spiritual traditions that emphasize the power of awareness. As you listen now, your consciousness interacts with these ideas. You become not just a passive receiver, but an active participant in the unfolding universe. Chapter 12. Integrating Science and Spirit. A New Paradigm. The frontier of modern science is blending with ancient wisdom. Physics, metaphysics, psychology and spirituality converge around the notion that vibration, frequency and consciousness are fundamental. This new paradigm offers hope. It invites you to see yourself as a co-creator equipped with tools to shape mind, body and world. By understanding neural networks, heart coherence, quantum entanglement and manifestation, you step into a deeper relationship with life. No longer separate or powerless, you embrace your vibrational nature. You embody both the scientist and the mystic. You walk the path of wisdom and curiosity. Conclusion. The gentle power of your vibration. As you drift towards sleep, remember this: you are a frequency in motion, a constellation of energy and intention, a node in the vast web of existence. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are not fleeting. They are signals. They ripple outward, shaping your world. Each breath you take is a pulse of potential. Each moment is a chance to tune your vibration, to choose resonance over dissonance, to create with clarity and love. The universe listens, and so do you. Rest now, dear listener. Let your frequency settle into harmony. Know that in this quiet your power is alive, and tomorrow you will awaken to a world shaped by the gentle force of your being.